Good afternoon. This presentation will focus on Nike's DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives. We are Team 95 from the Silver cohort. In this presentation, we'll begin with meeting the team, following which we will discuss Nike's diversity initiative. We will then discuss Nike's charitable donations and what programs they utilize, of which we will measure those programs. And finally, the diversity benefits of these Nike programs. I am Michael.
I'm Adesh.
I'm Josh.
I'm Bella.
And I'm Yasmin.
On this slide, we're introducing how Nike frames its diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy, internally and externally, under the banner "Until We All Win." I want you to notice two things: what customers see the moment they land on Nike's website, and what the company commits to its behind the scenes. Those two elements reinforce each other, and that alignment is the core of the initiative. Let me start with the visual piece because it's the most immediate. If you open Nike.com on any given day, the default experience is inclusion representation. The homepage and product page routinely center athletes and creators from underrepresented groups by race, ethnicity, gender, body type, age, ability, and identity. The screenshot on the right is a live example, multiple spotlights on talent who historically were not front-paged in mainstream sports advertising. The important nuance here is that this isn't a core one-off Heritage Month uh, carousel or seasonal campaign. It's embedded in the day-to-day heritage of Nike. It is also the day-to-day merchandising and storytelling of the site. The models you see wearing the products, the athletes narrating the videos, the creators featured in lookbooks and product stores. Why does that matter beyond optics? From an organizational behavior perspective, it is a signal of norms. In signaling theory, the homepage is a high visibility channel that tells current and prospective employees, suppliers, and consumers something about who belongs at this brand. In social identity terms, this primes belonging cues. People who rarely see themselves reflected in sports cultures see themselves centered here. That's not just feel good, it's connected to engagement, motivation, and purchase intention because representation reduces stereotype threat and invites identification with the brand community. In other words, the front page is not just marketing, it's culture, and culture shows up in behavior. Now, visibility without structure can ring hollow, so the second half is just as important. Nike pairs the external narrative with internal structural commitments. In its impact/DEI reporting, the company documents two anchor commitments relevant to our slide. The first being maintaining pay equity for women and US minorities, closing and auditing gaps rather than talking about abstractly. And two, increasing representation at senior levels with decisions about product, marketing, and investments are made. That's crucial because representation in leadership is what sustains representation in storytelling. It aligns who is in the room and what appears on the homepage. Now, Nike goes beyond this. It also makes substantial donations, which my colleague Josh will now discuss.
Thank you, Michael. So speaking a little more onto Nike's charitable donations, Nike continues to make meaningful investments in local communities through a wide range of platforms, programs, and initiatives. The company contributed over $140 million towards community support. Beyond financial investments, Nike empowers its employees to play an active role in giving back. Nearly 7,000 of its employees collectively direct more than $16 million to over 4,200 community organizations worldwide. Through initiatives like the Community Impact Fund, Nike enables employees to help select local grant recipients, ensuring that support reaches organizations making a real difference. The company also encourages its employees to participate in philanthropy through its Give Your Best platform, which matches donations and volunteer efforts, reinforcing a strong culture of generosity, inclusivity, and social responsibility. Nike is deeply committed to advancing educational opportunities for underrepresented communities. The company has invested just over 2% of the prior year's pre-tax income and has pledged $10 million over 5 years to strengthen and expand programs at historically Black colleges and universities and Hispanic serving institutions. Nike has already delivered $2.95 million of this investment and has hosted multiple on-campus events and partnerships designed to inspire and support diverse student populations. These efforts reflect Nike's long-term goal of empowering the next generation of leaders, fostering equitable access to education, and building pathways to success for students from all backgrounds. And now Bella will continue to speak on measuring diversity.
Thank you, Josh. So to begin with, Nike really measures their diversity through these three categories: inclusive representation, transparent reporting, and then lastly, proven progress. So to begin with inclusive representation, Nike really focuses on marketing and workplace initiatives to incorporate DEI, and they also use ads and campaigns to make sure that these reflect their goals for DEI and their global community as a whole. And then next, transparent reporting. Nike publishes annual reports that are impact reports and DEI reports. These reports go more in depth into representation, pay equity, and the investments that Nike makes for their DEI initiatives and for their company altogether. And then lastly, for proven progress, we can see through these two images that Nike has went for their representation of U.S. racial and ethnic minorities. Nike has went up from 32% in 2020 to 41% in 2023. And that really exceeded their goals of their target being 35% in 2025. So that went up by 6%, which was a positive impact and change that Nike made sure that they would make, and they stuck to those goals altogether. And so overall, Nike has really done a good job of giving back to communities and making sure that they're making positive changes and in the workforce and through their company. And then lastly, what I'll touch on is they've made a $1.4 billion investment into these diverse suppliers, which means that they're partnering with minorities, underrepresented communities, and women. So these groups of people that really push the brand and the brand pushes them to stick together and make sure that they're all making positive changes in diversity and in DEI in general, and making sure that the company's on the right track to keep growing and keep moving up in those percentages, because ultimately that is what Nike wants to see as a whole and into the future. And so now I'll pass it on to Yasmin to talk more in depth about the benefits.
Thank you, Bella. So as she was saying, I will be talking about the first benefit to their DEI initiatives, how they help the company reach a wider consumer base. First, representation drives purchases. When people see someone who looks like them in ads or on posters, they feel included and understood. The emotional connection makes them more likely to buy the product and share it with others. Representation also builds trust. It tells customers that the brand truly sees and values them. This sense of belonging can turn one-time buyers into loyal supporters who advocate for their brand in their own communities. In today's world, Consumers want to support companies that align with their values and make them feel seen. So representation has become not just a social priority, but a smart business strategy. Next, new markets are unlocked. According to Nielsen, brands that prioritize inclusion can tap into significant market potential, gaining more customers and stronger loyalty. By supporting social causes and creating inclusive, accessible products, companies like Nike can see major return on investment. This means they're not only attracting existing audiences, but also connecting with groups that might have been overlooked before, ultimately increasing their global presence and impact. Finally, Nike's impact approach shows this in action. As Nike states, we believe diversity fosters creativity and accelerates innovation. For us to grow and evolve, we want our company to reflect the diversity of the people who love our products around the world. This belief is seen in their campaigns, athlete partnerships, as well as product lines that celebrate different backgrounds and identities. For example, Nike's You Can't Stop Us campaign featured athletes of all races, genders, and abilities, highlighting unity through sport and resonating with audiences worldwide. Through inclusive marketing and design, Nike isn't just promoting diversity, it's expanding its reach and building lasting relationships with consumers everywhere. By embracing inclusion, Nike continues to strengthen its brand image while proving that diversity is both the right thing to do and the key to long-term success. Now I'll pass it on to Adesh to continue talking about the other benefits.
Thank you. As Yasmin mentioned in the previous slide, there are several other key benefits of Nike's initiative to promote inclusion through advertising and charitable donations. This approach enhances the company's corporate reputation, broadens its market reach by appealing to a more diverse demographic, and creates a lasting positive impact on communities. However, the benefit I want to focus on is employee pride and engagement. These initiatives play a crucial role in retaining talent and empowering employees to perform at their best. According to a 2023 Deloitte survey, 59% of Gen Z and 39% of millennials said they refuse to work for a company that does not align with their values, many of which center on community impact and inclusivity. By fostering a workplace culture that values diversity and purpose, Nike helps eliminate feelings of alienation, strengthens collaboration, and boosts morale. Employees feel that their voices matter and that their work contributes to something meaningful beyond profit. When people feel proud of the organization they represent, they're more motivated to innovate, share ideas, and push creative boundaries. Values that perfectly align with Nike's mission of bringing inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. This sense of belonging not only enhances productivity but also creates a ripple effect throughout the company, driving teamwork, improving leadership engagement, and shaping a workplace that reflects the diversity of its global customers. Ultimately, Nike's commitment to inclusion does more than build a positive image. It strengthens the very foundation of the organization. By aligning social values with business goals, Nike demonstrates that diversity is not just a moral responsibility, but a strategic advantage. It shows how a company can inspire change, empower its employees, and create a culture where everyone feels valued and motivated to excel. In conclusion, Nike's commitment to diversity not only shapes its public image, but also defines its internal strength. By aligning its social values with business goals, Nike demonstrates how inclusion can drive both corporate success and meaningful social change, setting a standard for companies worldwide. Thank you.